alive, unharmed. No signs of restraint, no evidence of torture. Don't understand.
For such a smart man, Professor, you always had trouble seeing evidence that disagreed with your preconceptions. How long will it take you to admit that I'm here because I wish to be here?
He wasn't kidnapped. He came here voluntarily to cure the genophage.
Impossible. Whole team agreed. Project necessary.
How was I supposed to disagree with the great Dr. Solus? I was your student! I looked up to you!
Experiments performed here. Live subjects, prisoners, torture and executions. You're doing?
We've already got the blood of millions on our hands, Doctor. If it takes a bit more to put things right, I can deal with that.
You honestly think the experiments you did here are justified?
We committed cultural genocide. Nothing I do will ever be justified. The experiments are monstrous because I was taught to be a monster.
Morton, did you ever perform experiments like this?
No. Never taught you this, Malin.
So your hands are clean. What does it matter if the ground is stained with the blood of millions? You taught me that the end justified the means. I will undo what we did, Professor. The only way I know how.
You talked about killing, but the genophage isn't lethal. It only affects fertility rates.
Krogan fight over fertile females. They become mercenaries or pirates because they see no alternative. They would be thriving in a cultural renaissance now had we not decided that this is what they deserved.
Inaccurate. Krogan population resulted in war. Simulations were clear.
Why work with Clan Werelock? And how did you access the genophage data?
The data was easy to obtain. We all still had clearance. We were heroes. All I had to do was ask. As for the Werelock, they were the only clan with both the resources and the commitment.
Erdnot has a larger camp than Werelock. Why not use them?
Erdnot Rex is too soft. He wasn't willing to do the experiments I needed. It's Erdnot's loss and Werelock's gain. Their clan will be the first to recover from the crime we committed.
What happens if the genophage is cured and the Krogan expand again? That'll be on your head.
We justified this atrocity by saying the Krogan would cause havoc and war if their population recovered. But look at the galaxy. Batarian attacks in the Traverse, Geth attacks in the Citadel. Is this a more peaceful universe? The assault on your Eden Prime might never have happened if we had let the Krogan recover. We'll never know.
How would a Krogan population explosion have done anything to stop Saren and the Geth?
An increased Krogan population would have forced the Council to take steps, likely involving colony rights in the Traverse. The Turian fleets would be vigilant for any military activity in the area. They might have stopped the Geth at Eden Prime.
Supposition. Impossible to be certain.
Don't you see? We tried to play God and we failed. We only made things worse, and I'm going to fix it.
Malin clearly doesn't need rescuing. What do you want to do?
Have to end this.
You can't face the truth, can you? Can't admit that your brilliant mind led you to commit an atrocity!
Unacceptable experiments. Unacceptable goals. Won't change. No choice. Have to kill you.
Wait, you don't need to do this, Morton. You're not a murderer.
No. Not a murderer. Thank you, Shepard. Finished, Malin. Get out. No Werelock left. Project over.
What if he talks to more Krogan? Tells the public about the modified genophage project?
Special Tasks Group good at covering tracks. No proof. Werelock willingness to work with Salarian, unusual. Other Krogan will kill him.
Aren't you worried that he'll start his research again?
No. Locking this unit. Special Task Group can cut access to old data. Could start from scratch. Decades of work, though. Didn't teach you everything I knew.
You heard the professor. Get out before he changes his mind.
Where am I supposed to go, Professor?
Don't care. Try Omega. Can always use another clinic.
The Krogan didn't deserve what we did to them, Professor. The genophage needs to end!
Not like this. Apologies, Commander. Misunderstood mission parameters. No kidnapping. My mistake. Thank you.
Don't worry about me, Morton. How are you doing?
Should have killed him. Wanted to. Easier than listening. Easier for him, too. Experiments indicate how far he's fallen. Expected it from Krogan. Not one of mine.
Maybe you'll remember that the next time you're discussing the ethics of the genophage.
Yes. So many variables. Stress responses. Impossible to truly predict. Something to think about. Malin's research. Only loose end. Could destroy it. Closure. Security. Still valuable, though.
If you think it could be useful, why not hang on to it?
Worked for years to create modified genophage. Should destroy this. Malin's work could cure genophage. Don't know. Effects on Krogan. Effects on Galaxy. Too many variables. Too many variables.
You regret what the Krogan have become. You see the horror of what they did here, but you see the loss, too.
Wasted potential.
They don't deserve this, Morton. Save the data.
Point taken, Shepard. Capturing data. Wiping local copy. Still years away from cure, but closer than starting from scratch. Done. Ready to go. Ready to be off to Chanka. Anywhere else. Maybe somewhere sunny.
I'd like to look around a bit more.
My scout made it back. We've got him at the tent. Doesn't remember much beyond getting tortured, but he remembers you. Said you yelled at him until he got his hump out of that basin back here. You've got a quad, human. Thanks for saving my scout. Saves me having to train another one.
Talk to you later.
If you're gonna stand there, make yourself useful. I can't do anything until I build a replacement manifold for this damn Tonka.
I've never seen a Krogan mechanic before.
What? You think we kidnap Quarians and make them do the hard work? Not anymore, we don't.
I found a combustion manifold out in the field. Is this what you need?
That'll work. Faster than building one from scratch, at least. You just saved me 3 days' work, human. You've earned my time if you want it.
Krogan place so much importance on martial strength. How did you become a mechanic?
How do you think those fools make it to the field to kill each other? Who do you think keeps the weapons working? Without me, there's no battle, just slaughter. I am the military might of Clan Urdnot.
How do you feel about what Rex is trying to do?
The old man's crazy if you ask me, which you just did. But that stuff fixes itself. If it doesn't work, Rex gets torn to shreds and we find out who's got the next best plan.
What's that you're working on there?
I'm tuning up these machines for battle. It's a wonder this Tomka here made it back to camp. It could be worse. A couple more hits on the broadside, and this thing would have crumbled.
Let me get out of your way.
Shepard, what can I do for you, my friend?
Good to see you, Rex. Sure you can't come with us?
Wish I could, but I need to keep these short-sighted fools in line. Hunt well, Shepard.
Still hard to believe Malin betrayed me. Betrayed my work. Disgusted by his actions. Proud of his nerve, though. Always thought he lacked backbone. Hope he finds something new. Better goal, better purpose. Fewer torture tests.
You're really at peace with what happened?
Yes, of course. Can't change what happened. Life continues. Back to mission, back to work. Become like Malin otherwise. Solarian emotional processing faster than other species. Has to be. Short-lived culture can't spend time reminiscing.
So you really don't feel bad at all about what happened on Tuchanka?
Yes, correct. Now at least. Greatly distressed at the time. Stages of grief, loss, anger, rationalization. Dealt with it. Most issues settled on Tuchanka, some on shuttle back to Normandy.
Malin didn't seem like he processed his emotional response. He was obsessed with the genophage.
True, didn't mean to imply that Solarians were healthier emotionally, can still make wrong choices, bad decisions from grief, anger, guilt. Malin couldn't accept feelings. Made decision, executed. Probably before I left for Omega. Wish I'd seen it. Solarians still feel, just resolve it quickly. Explains lack of marriage, can't sustain courtship emotions. Or perhaps based on reproduction. Unsure.
What about Malin's data on the genophage? His attempts at a cure?
What about it? Have it over there somewhere. Not dealing with it now. Need to focus on collectors. Not important now, regardless. Appreciate you helping me back on Tuchanka.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
Is the new Normandy giving you any trouble?
Please, Shepard, I'm a Quarian. Give me a chunk of scrap metal, a circuit board, and some element zero, and I'll have it making precision jumps. I was worried about working with Cerberus engineers, but they know what they're doing, and they've been very polite.
Have you got time to talk?
Sure. Let me just... Come on, you little boshtet! Oh, sorry. I've got a small fever, and I'm taking it out on the poor drive core. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. Got sloppy while doing some suit repair.
You're sick? Do you need help or time to rest?
Really, it's not that bad. If a stray bit of bacteria could really kill us, we'd have all died by now. The fever should go away in a day or two. Don't worry, it won't affect my performance on the mission. It's not even an illness, really. What we experience is actually an acute allergic reaction.
How exactly does the sickness work? It's an allergic reaction?
Right. Say I get exposed to a human disease, like... What did Navigator Presley have that time? Chickenpox? I wouldn't get chickenpox, but I'd run a fever as my system reacted to the foreign presence. Depending on where it hits me, I could get other symptoms. Nausea, vomiting, everything you'd expect from being sick.
How did you get sick this time?
I took some fire in a fight back on the Allerai. Nothing serious, but I needed to open my suit to check the wound. I disinfected properly, but one of the section seals had taken some damage, and foreign matter got out of the disinfected zone. It was a stupid mistake. You always check your seals before doing local treatment. Unless you forget. Then you get a damn fever.
You can seal off part of your suit?
Right. Like dropping emergency doors on a ship during a hull breach. It won't stop an infection that gets into my bloodstream, but it prevents a surface infection from spreading.
Were your immune system stronger before the Geth drove you from your homeworld?
Not as strong as those of most races, definitely. I'm not a biologist, but there's a theory about it. Because our planet lacked insect life, plants developed symbiotic relationships with large animals to spread seeds or pollen. Most viruses on our world were partially beneficial, so our immune systems evolved to be weak. They were more likely to adapt to contamination than fight it.
But Quarians colonized other worlds. They couldn't all have been like that.
They weren't. Most colonists went through a period of mild illness before adapting to the new environment. When the Geth took the homeworld and our colonies, the sterile environment on the flotilla ruined our immune system's adaptability. Even if we colonized a new world or reclaimed our own, we'd need a long process of bioengineering to recover.
I don't know if I could live inside a suit my whole life.
We're in our suits even among family. The most intimate thing we can do with another Quarian is link our suit environments. We get sick at first, and then we adapt. It's our most important gesture of trust, of acceptance. I haven't trusted anyone enough for that, though. Except... well, no Quarians. You know what I mean.
Wait, I can't tell under the helmet. Are you blushing?
What? No, it's the fever. It's just that the tradition also signifies a willingness for, intimacy. I wasn't trying to... It's not always like that. It's more... how did we even end up talking about this?
Wait a minute. It sounds like you're suggesting something, Tally.
What could I possibly be suggesting? I mean, a young woman gets rescued by a dashing commander who lets her join his crew and then goes off to save the galaxy? How could she possibly develop any kind of interest in him?
Wait a minute. It sounds like you're suggesting something, Tally.
What could I possibly be suggesting? I mean, a young woman gets rescued by a dashing commander who lets her join his crew and then goes off to save the galaxy? How could she possibly develop any kind of interest in him?
This mission will be risky enough. I can't jeopardize your health for that. No matter how much I'd like to.
But you'd like to? Good to know. Anyway, I should get back to work. But thanks for coming by and talking.
Bird not grunt. I like it. I have a clan. That makes me... It makes me want to fight, not just able to. At Uvink, I wanted to disembowel him, to tear out his spine like a trophy.
We started this because you were losing control. Now you sound more violent than ever.
Rex said I was normal. Just had this built-up stuff because of being grown in the tank. Now that I know it's not an outside thing, and I have a place as a Krogan, I like it. Our enemies are in trouble, Shepard, and we better not run out of targets.
There's no danger of that. They're practically lining up.
Everyone gets a turn. Ha! Wouldn't want it any other way.
Do you need something?
You mind if I ask you a few questions?
Not at all.
There's something else I'd like to talk about.
Ask,
Have a few minutes to talk?
if you wish.
The last time we talked, you started speaking about a past event, as if you were watching it.
Drell have perfect memories. We can relive any moment in our lives with perfect clarity. It's difficult to control at times. Some of us disappear into, let's call it solipsism.
What do you mean, solipsism?
When a memory feels as real as life, it's as valid as life. Thinking about a moment brings back the smell of cut grass, the warmth of another's hand on yours, the taste of another's tongue in your mouth. Wouldn't you rather lose yourself in such a memory than spend the night alone, staring at walls of metal and plastic?
Isn't there a risk that you could lose yourself in bad memories as well?
Of course. Remembering the times I've taken bullets is unpleasant. But I can look at my knee and see it's not shattered. The memories that are hard to escape are those of despair.
Isn't that a rather personal memory to talk about?
Forgive me. Lately I've spent a great deal of time reviewing my life. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
You can remember everything that happened in your life?
Nearly. I expect if we remembered the birth trauma, we'd never recover from it.
You can relive every assassination you've ever made?
In perfect detail. Every mistake I made. Every target's last breath.
That sounds difficult. At any moment you could relive the guilt.
Guilt? No. I've never felt any particular guilt about my contracts. My employers killed them. My body was only the tool they used. If you kill a man with your gun, do you hold the gun responsible?
My gun can't decide right from wrong. You clearly do.
My soul does. But my body is merely flesh. Flesh whose reflexes were honed to kill. Drell minds are different from humans. We see our body as a vessel, and accept that it is not always under our control.
That's a strange way of looking at yourself.
Humans often believe in a soul distinct from the body. A spirit responsible for moral reasoning that lives on after the body's death. Our belief is just a bit more literal.
The last time we talked, you remembered one of your assassinations. Something about sunset-colored eyes?
That time. Laser duct trembles on the skull. Spice on the spring wind. Sunset eyes, defiant in the scope. A bystander noticed my spotting laser and threw herself between me and the target. She couldn't see me, but she stared me down.
Did you take the shot?
Not that day.
It was odd that you just blurted that out. Just another vivid draw memory?
No. She was a vivid person.
I should get back to my duties.
Shepard, I appreciate these chats we have.
You've spent a lot of your life alone, Thane.
Work fulfilled me. Reading. I barely spoke to anyone outside my family. It seems there will be no one to mourn me when I die. You're the only friend I've made in 10 years.
The rest of us lose as much as you do when you hold yourself apart.
I found it difficult to sit in the ship's mess for meals. I'm used to keeping my back against a wall, facing the doors.
Shepard,
I wanted to check in.
I am always happy to talk with you.
I'm interested in hearing more about Asari Justicars.
We hold a unique place in Asari culture. Justicars are from another era. Young Asari grow up watching vids about our adventures. Pure fiction, of course. Some Asari are uncomfortable with us, but so few Justicars exist that most have never met one.
There were only a few Justicars?
Few Asari wish to make the sacrifices necessary to become one of us, and the training has a high casualty rate. It is a life of constant danger. Throughout the entire galaxy, there are only a handful of us at any time.
Why would anyone want to be a Justicar?
It is a deeply personal matter. Sometimes the most brutal path is the only honest one.
This code of the Justicar seems central to your life.
It is 5,000 sutras and covers every situation one can encounter. I have memorized every word. There is only the code.
Sometimes justice calls for mercy.
It does not exist to bring about spiritual enlightenment. Its purpose is to punish the wicked and protect the innocent.
The Asari I've spoken to seem conflicted about Justicars.
In this age, people see shades of gray everywhere. The code of the Justicar is black and white. I might seem a hero to many, but I would kill all of them if I had to.
What role do you think Justicars have in Asari society?
I would say that the closest human equivalent is a knight-errant in your medieval lore. Perhaps mixed with a bit of samurai.
Does the code forbid romantic involvement?
It does not. However, I would never be interested in such. That part of my life is well behind me.
You could meet someone who reawakens those desires.
I am nearly 1,000 years old. I know myself and my desires. But your curiosity is quite welcome.
What does your code say about killing?
I am compelled to kill the wicked. If a Justicar is involved, peaceful solutions are long past.
You make killing sound so casual.
I remember each being I have slain. They are always in my thoughts.
You know about knights errant and samurai?
When I knew I must leave Asari space again, I studied the history and morals of new species. When I was a maiden wandering the galaxy, humans had not yet arrived.
What did your studies tell you about us?
You are more individualistic than any other species I have encountered. If 3 humans are in a room, there will be 6 opinions. I like your species. I am curious to see what you will do.
I should go.
I'm glad we spoke.
We've done it.
What are you doing?
Dr. Kenson, I'm Commander Shepard. I'm here to get you out.
Commander Shepard? I'd heard you were alive. Hackett must have received my message.
We're not safe here. Can you walk?
I'm fine. Just give me a moment.
We have to go. Now.
If we can find a console, I can hack security. Make us an escape path.
Then we'll find one. Go.
Ready. That way.
Leave that to me.
Engaging autopilot. We should be well out of range before they get their security measures unscrambled.
Do you think they'll come after you?
I'm not taking any chances. Batarians don't take kindly to humans who plan to destroy their mass relays.
So the charges against you are true?
Well, to be fair, that's about half the story. My people and I were here investigating rumors of Reaper technology, out in the fringes of this system.
I guess you found something.
We found proof that the Reapers will be arriving in this system. When they get here, they'll use its mass relay to travel throughout the galaxy. We call it the Alpha Relay. From here, the Reapers can invade anywhere in the galaxy.
So you decided to destroy it?
Exactly. Doing that would stop the Reapers' invasion. Even at FTL speeds, it'd be months or years before they got to the next relay. We came up with what we just called the project. A plan to launch a nearby asteroid into the relay and destroy it before the Reapers could arrive. Of course, the resulting explosion would probably wipe out the system.
I've always heard that mass relays are indestructible.
I've heard that too. But I think it's more that nobody's willing to find out what happens when one is destroyed. And, well, we plan to slam a small planet into the thing at very high speed. By our calculations, that's more than enough.
Is the project still operational?
I imagine it is. We were one button press away from launch when the Batarians arrested me.
How did you plan to launch an asteroid into a mass relay?
Moving an asteroid just requires thrust and guidance, which are readily available in Omega's salvage yards. Get the right amount of power and a good VI to drive it, and you can pretty much just point and shoot.
Why do you think destroying the mass relay would destroy the entire system?
Mass relays are the most powerful Mass Effect engines in the known galaxy. The energy released from a relay's destruction would probably resemble a supernova. This is a remote system, but just over 300,000 Batarians live on the colony where they held us. The explosion would undoubtedly kill them all.
How were you caught?
We've been smuggling Starship parts from Omega. Thrusters, guidance, and aftermarket ESO core. The Batarians thought that looked suspicious. A few days ago, I took a few of the men on a scouting trip, and the Batarians pounced on us. They never found our actual base.
I still don't see how you learned about this supposed invasion.
The evidence came from what we call Object Rho, a Reaper artifact we discovered among the asteroids near the relay itself. When we get back to Arcturus Station, I'll explain everything and provide copies of all our notes on the artifact.
How exactly does a Reaper artifact give you proof of an impending invasion?
It showed me visions of the Reaper's arrival. Much like your Prothean beacon, I imagine. The Reapers are coming, Commander. That much I know for certain.
What is a Reaper artifact doing on an asteroid?
We don't know, or even what its purpose is. Some things are just too old or large to comprehend. Even a Reaper thousands of years dead contains power. Their artifacts are worthy of study, regardless of their purpose.
If you're working near a Reaper artifact, how have you avoided indoctrination?
We've been very careful. We know what we're dealing with. You're not speaking to a child, Shepard. I saw what Sovereign did at the Citadel. Trust me, I know what's at stake.
The stakes are too high. If you were willing to destroy a whole system over this, I want to see your proof.
I guess I can't argue with that. Give me a moment. Kenson to Project Base.
Good to hear your voice, Doctor. You coming home?
Affirmative. And I've got Commander Shepard with me.
Shepard? Really?
Tidy up the lab. The Commander needs to confirm the artifact.
Right. I'll get everything set up for your arrival. Project Base out.
All set. Just sit back and relax. We'll be there in no time. Here we are. Welcome to Project Base.
What's this?
That's our countdown to arrival. When that gets to 0, the Reapers will have come. Just over 2 days and counting. Puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
How do you know that's an accurate countdown?
It is. The artifact has been giving off pulses at definite intervals since we found it. The intervals have been decreasing at a steady rate. The artifact is reacting to the Reaper's proximity. In just over 48 hours, the pulses will become constant, and the Reapers will be here.
How do you know that's an accurate countdown?
It is. The artifact has been giving off pulses at definite intervals since we found it. The intervals have been decreasing at a steady rate. The artifact is reacting to the Reaper's proximity. In just over 48 hours, the pulses will become constant, and the Reapers will be here.
You're saying the Reapers could be at Earth in 2 days? There's no time to waste.
Then let's show you that proof. That door exits the hangar. The artifact is in our central lab area.